Welcome to our Line Opinion panelists for the week. We're happy to be joined in person in our Albuquerque studios by attorney Laura Sanchez. It's been a while since she's been here. Good to see you, Laura. Radio host at KKOB 96.3 FM, TJ Chowd is here, legend here in Albuquerque, and a political legend herself. Former State Senator Diane Snyder is here as well. Thank you all for being here. Now we start this week with a look at the Albuquerque Police Department and the city's plans for it in the next fiscal year. Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller introduced his proposed budget for 2024 last week. It included money for 1,000 officers at APD. Keep a pin in that number. Quite a few less than the mayor's original goal of 1,200 officers during his campaign. The city has previously budgeted the department for 1,100, but according to the Albuquerque Journal, the department has just 856 sworn officers as of last week. TJ, let me start with you here. Why has this been such a traditionally a difficult problem to attract and keep officers here? I want to talk about that 1,200 number in a second, but the 856, why can't we get more officers here? What's going on?
You know, you say here, and I don't think it's here. I think it's everywhere. I don't think this is an Albuquerque problem. Obviously, we have our problems. Sure. I mean, we all know, we all talk about crime all the time on my air. We talk about it all the time. You know, but this is not an Albuquerque problem. If you look at this is nationwide. I mean, no one wants to be a cop anymore. Nobody wants to do it. And so is this reflective of just post-COVID stuff where nobody wants to work anymore in general? Or is this have to do with post George Floyd / defund the police stuff, and cops see this stuff and they I don't want to be a cop now. Right. But you know, I talk to a lot of law enforcement people on my air. I mean, the current, former, probably future. but one of the things they say too, you know, we have so few cops on the street right now. And there's so few, there's no time for real policing. They cannot do police work because, I mean, you know, like the bike patrols we used to have, the horse patrols we used to have, things like that, because all they're doing right now is going from emergency to emergency. They get a 911 call, so it's those calls to this call to this call. So they're putting out fires instead of being able to do real crime preventive stuff and community police work. They don't have time. Right now, I was told, all it is now is crisis management. And why don't, and you know, I think that might be your answer why people don't want to do this.
That's right. It's difficult. Senator, I've got an interesting point here. According to the U.S. Census, Albuquerque, of course, we're just over 500,000 in the local, and that's about 1.5 officers for every 1,000 people in Albuquerque. But the open question is, what is the right amount of officers? We've gone from this 1,200 to 1,100, now it's 1,000. Are we judging these things the right way?
I don't think that we are.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say a lot of things here, and I'm not faulting anybody because a lot of what I read on the research of this is, you know, one Democrat mayor blamed the Republican mayor and vice versa.
Right.
And this,
That's right.
And I'm so tired of hearing that I don't care anymore.
Right.
I have my own personal beliefs, but that's one thing. That doesn't always mean that I'm right about the solution to our problem. But one of the things that I found in all this is nobody really knows what the right number is. The national average is just over 2%.
I see.
Or 2.8 is what it is per 1,000 people. And as you said, we're at 1.5, something like that. So we're below. But two things occur. Every politician tells us, including our current and our previous, that I'm going to increase it to 1,000, to 1,200. Right. We're going to get this crime under control. And then that never happens. They focus so much on trying to find people. In an interesting article that we read, Jeff Proctor's article from 2011, was talking about how we've cut back the requirements. Right. It used to be you were required to have a college degree.
That's right.
Now, pretty much if you're breathing, and I'm not being tacky, but there are so many different relaxation of the requirements. And this is the quotes that were used were coming from the people doing the training at the police academy that this is happening.
And we got the results, the city from that
we've got the
pretty
results.
quickly.
We're doing trying to do right on one side,
Mm-hmm.
but we're doing so much wrong trying to meet that goal of 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
I want the politicians to stop telling me. I want them to that they're going to do 1,000 or 1,200. I want them to say we've got 856 right now.
Right.
My goal is to have 900 by the end of my first term, fully qualified, fully trained. Put the requirements back in. And then the other piece is, where are we assigning the officers that we have?
Let me turn to Laura on
Yeah.
that very question. That's interesting. By the way, I want to follow up what Senator mentioned about the 1.5 here in the city. New York City's at 4.1, Washington, D.C. 5.3, Detroit 3.8. So for perspective, we just don't have a lot of cops on the street. And so that goes to the question, Laura, good to see you. As I mentioned earlier, are we using these folks the right way? TJ mentioned it's triage earlier. They can only answer, heavy-duty calls. It's not much community policing. Remember when that was a term here about 10 years ago? No one's even talking about community policing anymore because you need the numbers. It's a hard one to pin down, though.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of chicken or egg, right? I mean,
Right.
we have a police force that is responding to a lot of crisis situations, but we have crisis situations that need to be responded to. So I don't know that, they have to respond to those. We have so many homicides occurring. I mean, we're barely in the 4th month of the year, and already we have an insane number. Every night you see, another homicide.
Seems like
So of course they're going to be doing some triage, and I think that's an important part of it. As you increase the number of qualified, trained people, hopefully they can start to do more of that community policing model, spend more time, getting to know the community, all of that. But I think until we get to those numbers, they're going to have to be responding to the crisis situation.
Should we be counting cadets in the new department, the new folks inside the department who were not sworn officers, but they're social workers, and having those folks go out for some calls instead? Should we count those folks in the number of this 856? Or is it actually fundamentally bigger than it is?
Well, I think it depends how, 1,000, 1,200, 1,100, it depends what you're talking about. If you're talking about actual, qualified police officers that are trained the right way, the way we expect a police officer to be able to respond to any situation, crime in general, then, that's what we're talking about. I'm not sure we're talking about folks who do more social work type. Still an important part of the solution. But I think transparency is important. So if we are counting them, then let's figure out what is their role and what is the number actually supposed to be. I think it's a good move actually on the administration's part to be realistic with their goals. I think if you are, and it's one thing to kind of during a campaign to come up with a number and focus on that, right? But as you're working through the process and you're, in terms of good government, good administration, and you realize that there are serious challenges to increasing the numbers at that level, especially if you're going to dramatically relax the requirements, then scale it back, be transparent about it. 1,000 police officers is a good goal to have between now and the end of this administration because we are at such a low level, 856. So let's figure out how we get folks in there and not cut corners to do it.
Interesting. I want to read you guys a quote, and TJ, I got something for you here. We had talked about that 2011 article from Jeff Proctor, our new executive producer here, and we're glad to have him. Former APD Lieutenant Steve Tate, Director of Training at the Police Department, Police Academy between 2003 2006, said, quote, "We were clear that we were to get to 1,100 officers, period. So hiring happened that was not in the best interest of the department or the community." Have we learned our lesson from that? I mean, there's a lieutenant confessing that some of the people on the street in his own department are not qualified to be there.
Well, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. I mean, we need more. We need more cops.
Right.
But we don't need sociopaths on the street.
Right.
With a gun.
Yeah, with a gun. We're right.
That's
right.
right.
And I'm not calling it. Don't call me and tell me I'm calling cops sociopaths. I'm not.
Right.
But I mean, we need good, qualified people.
Let me ask you this, though. The proposed budget from the mayor calls for beefing up the Albuquerque Community Safety Department we were just talking about a second ago. Is that the solution here? Are we so hung up on badges that we should be looking at other ways to...
We've, like what you were saying, mental health is very important. I mean, that's notwithstanding. I think boots on the street, and that's kind of a militarist term, but we need cops on the street. And I think the city needs to take a long, hard look at why we have so few and why the percentages are so down. And I'm wondering, are we being realistic in our goals? I mean, are the mayors or who's ever in charge saying, okay, pie in the sky, 1,500 cops? That's not going to happen.
I've had people say to me, he called it Marty-itis, that once that original Marty 1,200 number was out there, we were on the hook from that point on, and we've never gotten out from under it. And it's just,
And one more point about this, Joe. I'm wondering about recruits, how you recruit people, and are we being honest with the people we're trying to hire? Meaning, okay, we need to define what it is going to mean to be a police officer on the streets of Albuquerque. These are the requirements. Times have changed. These are how we're going to do the policing. Tell these people up front.
And
this has to be done. This has to be done. And show this to them.
That's right.
Before we hire them, or in the interview process.
Exactly
so
right.
Are you still in for this?
Be sure to let us know what you think about this topic on our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages. This is poppin'. Really want to hear from you guys. And catch up on any episodes you might have missed on the PBS app on your Roku or smart TV. Now, we'll be back in just over 10 minutes to talk about the recent action from the Santa Fe District Attorney in the deadly Rust film set shooting case.